Let me finish tonight with something I witnessed quite personally. It's the story of how systems fail. 25 years ago, I stood on a mound of dirt looking down on the Potsdamer checkpoint separating East from West Berlin. It was a weekend in November 1989. I was watching history. For the second Saturday, the communists running East Germany had opened the Berlin Wall, letting thousands of East Berliners trapped for decades behind the wall visit the western part of the city. Looking down on the scene, I saw the grim parade of humanity getting their first breath of freedom coming through the checkpoint. You could see the effect of all those decades of communist repression. And the one thing these people were used to was waiting in long lines for food, for a state-issued ticket to an opera, 18 months for one of the Trabants, those ugly little East German cars that chugged along, mostly producing exhaust. They were greeted that Saturday morning by British soldiers ladling out hot coffee out of their Jeep cans. Then they caught sight of a bakery truck offering little packets of cookies. What a sight. These desperate people, so used to waiting in line, so appreciative of even small tokens of food and fortune. Obviously, their lives have been used to the waiting, used to the desperation, not so used to getting anything good given to them. Quote, "That's what 40 years of living under communism has got them," I heard a proud West German remark, standing in line for biscuits. I spent a week watching all this, watching and interviewing East Berliners on what this all meant to them. There was the young man who said it meant he could speak openly to a reporter like me, that he and his friends could talk in an open place about politics. There were other people who told me of the terrible failure of the communist system. They told of how the factory manager and the school principal, the true believers in the system, were treated the worst, how the East German currency itself was not even accepted at the better East Berlin hotels, how they were pushed back to the back of the line when they went to travel on an airplane, how their own airlines favored travelers from the West, people with real money to spend. The only people who managed to do well in the East German system, the communist system, were the taxi drivers and other hustlers who had access to the tourists visiting from the West. And what struck me then and recurs to me now is how systems fail. It's when they fail to deliver to the true believers, when they screw the very people on whom society most depends. As I said, the factory manager, the school principal. Because when you fail the people who make society work, you make the system unworkable. When the nurses start heading west, you know you're in trouble. And that's when the Berlin Wall fell, when the Iron Curtain became irrelevant, when the communists were called on their promises and found short. Lesson here, people will support a system if it repays their loyalty with respect, economic respect. When it no longer does, look out. We in our country of freedom should never forget this lesson, because with all our good values, the system of free market still has to deliver for the people, especially for those who trust it most. And that's Hardball for now. Thanks for being with us.